The three musts. Number one, be core. C stands for curious. Are you curious? Yes. The yellow balloons were the curious ones. Remember yesterday?
There's only 3 of us.
I'm only 3 of you. Oh, we have 2 of them here. That's why you're in this class. You say, what's this guy going to talk about? You were curious enough to know. All right, so be curious. Be curious. Be open. You have to be open-minded. You have to be open-minded. You have to be able to understand anything understandable. You have to have an open mind. Do not reject anything from the very beginning just because it doesn't suit your initial mindset. Always ask yourself, what if? I advise you to think, to rethink, and to ask yourself, what if, every time you say, I don't like this. All right? You understand? Risk takers. Being a risk taker doesn't mean being blind. Same as being optimistic doesn't mean being illusionary. You can be optimistic and realistic, and you can be a risk taker, but you can have calculated risks. This is, I don't like walking by the edge of a cliff with my eyes wrapped, with my head wrapped here, and without knowing there's a cliff to my left. But if I know there's a cliff, and I can see, and I know where I'm getting, I understand why do I have to go by the edge of the cliff instead of going through the countryside. Then I may do it. That's what you call calculated risk. And finally, I mean, that derives from the first 3. If you're curious, if you're open, and you're willing to take risks, then you have to have a lot of energy. Right? You have to have a lot of energy. If someone tells you, you tire me, your answer's got to be, thank you. Every time someone tells me, Fermín, you are so tiring, I say thank you. That means I'm energized. Well, you have to try not to get on the nerves of on other people's nerves. All right? And you have to try to stay calm, but you have to have the energy to do all these things. Entrepreneurialism is very much so. It's very much about energy. It's about being able to stand up every morning, and although things did not work out as you expected the day before, have the energy to keep working. Work in teams. I don't consider entrepreneurialism as individualism. It's true that you may have a great idea while you're taking a shower. But that idea won't prove great until you test it with your friends, with your colleagues, until you brainstorm, until you ask someone else to criticize your job. It's very difficult to be critical with oneself. And when you're working a team, do 2 things. Let them manage themselves. Those teams have to be self-managed. Don't try to micromanage everything in your company, in your venture. Get surrounded by the right people and let them manage themselves. They will contribute much more to your idea, to your business, if you let them manage themselves. And second, and it's a very important word that I like very much, advocacy. Build teams with a purpose in mind and get the right people for the team. The team does not have to adjust to a new person. The person has to adjust to the team. And the team has to adjust to the goal. And finally, have a strategic focus. You know, most new ventures, most startups, they belong with a product focus. Most startups begin because someone has an idea on a product, or because someone knows a technology that does something. That's okay as an initial approach. That's okay as an initial focus for your business. But as soon as possible, you have to shift the focus from the product to the client.